Hello to the side and back. My name is Tokika Uzuru, and also known as Toki. And in today's video, I am doing an entire message because I just had to deal with something earlier that was pretty funny in hindsight, but just I'm very passionate about this one specifically. And that is irrational emotions, specifically fears, are still emotions and have to be dealt with as such. You can't try to put logic into feelings because feelings will always win. Now, the reason why I decided to go ahead and make this as my video specifically is that last night I watched the documentary specifically on H.H. Holmes and the amount of lies that are attached to this con man's name. The name H.H. Holmes isn't even his real name, if that tells you anything about the amount of lies this man has spun. But I watched it like right before I was supposed to be going to bed, which is not a good idea for me. I understand that even more now, but like I thought I could handle it. Now, this man was already trialed and sentenced for the crimes that he has committed. This was a long time ago. And he dealt with the consequences, illegal consequences of his actions a long time ago. They even had to go through like 10 feet of concrete after burying the man just to go ahead and make darn sure that this man didn't just fake his own execution. And sure enough, his body was still where they buried it. This man has been dead for centuries. But that does not keep me from not being able to sleep after having to deal with about an hour and 5 minutes of talking about murders that have actually happened. I'm going to go ahead and say it like this. My worst fear is my own imagination and what it's able to conjure up. Last night I was completely terrified to close my eyes for longer than necessary because I didn't know what would be there as my eyes are closed. Typically it takes me about maybe 10 minutes if I'm very sleepy to actually lay down, calm down, and fall asleep. It took me almost 2 hours before I was able to actually fall asleep, and by then I didn't even realize I fell asleep until I woke up. They typically say that knowledge is power. In this case, knowledge is more of a hindrance for my health. But this is why I wanted to go ahead and make it absolutely abundantly, who the heck? Why is he driving? Sir, I thought we had to talk about this. Why are you driving? I'm keeping this in the video mainly for my mom's sake. I'm keeping a decent part of that in the video for my mom's sake, so she knows exactly, one, when this entire thing occurred, and two, what I was doing during the event. But this was one of the reasons on why I wanted to talk about this, because all logic will conclude, logistically, I was fine. I was in my room. All of the doors in the house was locked. And I would have been able to hear, no one would be able to get into my room through my windows without me hearing it first. Logistically, I was safe. But my brain thought otherwise. I might be speaking on behalf of everyone who has to deal with irrational fears, specifically, but emotions that seem not logical. You know, like you can actually put logic to emotions, that'll work. But telling me it's not going to happen and me being able to believe that it's not going to happen are two totally different things. And requires me to be able to trust your word and trust that it will not happen, even if you say it won't. Yes, I know the likelihood of me being killed by a serial killer is like slill to nil. That doesn't mean I'm not going to fear it. Anyway, two things were figured out throughout that entire event. One, hour-long YouTube videos are really good for when you can't sleep. And two, don't watch documentaries on serial killers right before you go to bed if you have to get up early the next day. I'm gonna leave you off with that little nugget of wisdom as I get into the stereotypical YouTuber outro, where I, as a stereotypical YouTuber, would ask you to do the following. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified of whenever I post. And don't forget to put your questions, comments, concerns, and ideas for future videos into the comments section down below. With my scattered brain right now, I've been Toki Uzuru, also known as Toki, and this is Toki saying Toki out.